Borland from Limp Bizkit, and I'm here today to talk about my Jackson King V, which is the main guitar that I've been using this year, the year of our Lord 2013. First off, my rep at Jackson had a couple of guitars that had factory flaws in them and had been returned, and he said there's a couple of King Vs that I think you'd be incredibly interested in. One of which he told me was a reverse headstock, but lo and behold, when we opened the case, it turned out to be a left-handed flying V. And you'll notice that there are controls here that have all been closed with two-part epoxy gel. Well, I was not deterred, and I actually was excited to kind of take it on as a project and turn it into a right-handed flying V. And I liked that it was a custom order for someone who, I think they weren't happy with the fretboard because the ebony wasn't dark enough. I don't know why people are so crazy, but I guess if you're spending money on a guitar that you've, requested an ebony fretboard, and the fretboard on this does look quite a bit like rosewood and not ebony. Anyhow, he was upset, but his loss is my gain, so happy about that. So I started off, the first thing I got into was, of course, taking out the electronics and closing them up, which I did with two-part epoxy gel. Then, when I got to the tremolo system, I realized that Floyd's are slightly offset because of the way that the bar plate is designed to accommodate the tremolo bar on one side. So I had to flip the actually reroute the cavity somewhat and replace the pinholes to make sure that it lined up, and made sense. I tried having a volume knob on this side for a while, but it didn't work, so I ended up just taking everything out of this and putting a new volume pot cavity in, running the wires through the back of the guitar, and eventually closing this input jack and routing a new input jack here. Other than that, I had to take a soldering iron and basically just burn new dot inlays into the side and replace the nut with a right-handed nut too. So it ended up being, and also close the pickup hole on the neck position pickup. Then all my guitars have a steel ring system with basically just sort of open springed hook attachments that attach my strap to any guitar that I have, so that straps can be quickly taken off, but not unless we want them to come off. I've tried strap lock systems before, and it's always seems to be the same problem. You've got, it locks, but you've got these very small screws that tend to wiggle their way out over time. But when you've got a giant, I used to do giant screws and washers, but now I just do giant eye screws. So the cool thing I kind of like about this is that they had to put the Jackson on a little bit smaller in order to get it to fit in, the logo to fit in this way on the guitar. Reverse headstocks have the Jackson logo right side up, but it's sort of fun having it upside down. Anyway, that's my King V, top to bottom. Also the bar is duct taped electric taped to give my, I use it so much, it gives my palm just a little bit more to hold on to instead of the really thin, stock bar. And that's about that.
Awesome, man. Have you asked him for a right-handed one?
I have a right-handed King V, but I don't know. I tend to think that the more involved I've built a couple of guitars and I've modded, several guitars myself, and if the more involved I am with the building of a guitar, the more I feel attached to it in a lot of ways, especially if I've, it's kind of a struggle and it kind of gives me a pain in the ass. It becomes it feels more like mine, and I've been more felt more connected with this one. There's actually a company called Loog Guitars that makes 3-string guitars that come in a kit that are for kids that they build, and part of their philosophy is that when the owner of a product has input on putting it together, has to do some of the work themselves, they feel a lot more attached and are a lot more likely to favor that instrument or whatever it is that they're putting together, that object of some kind, because it's part of them is in the instrument. So I definitely love that philosophy, and that's been mine forever now, as long as I can remember.